Welcome to today's edition of The Locker Room on Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry High, and we've got an absolute thriller of a show for you. Joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, two heavyweights ready to break down all the action and drop some serious hot takes on everything happening in the football world. So stay locked in, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment. And hey, we want to hear from you too. Call us on the WhatsApp number on your screen and join the conversation live. Ikechukwu, it's great to have you join us once again. So much happening in the exciting world of football. The Club World Cup makes a return tonight. Lots of action to look forward to.
Yes, Jerry, good evening and good evening to our viewers. It's a very good day to talk football, Club World Cup. It's I think this is the semi-final stage, and we're almost there, right? Yeah. To see who the champion is going to be. Paris Saint-Germain against Real Madrid is going to be an absolute cracker of a game, and in transfer world as well, interesting times. United seem to be, bringing out their head, something interesting in the pipeline, Jerry. But I'm not going to let it out now. When it's finally unveiled, you get to hear it first.
Oh God, leave matter, but it is well. Anyway, all speculation. Let's continue to wait and see. It's just like a spirit move. It's no longer in the physical. Anyway, Man United, the Red Devils, they are okay. They need to deal with the spirit. But I hope it's not evil at the end of the day. Anyway, Mario also joins us virtually, and today it seems like Fabio Romano is tired of Evans just signed a deal with Manchester United to be a part of the backroom staff. Great to have you join us, Mario.
It's always amazing to be here. A whole lot of football, Club World Cup winding up, Chelsea going against another Brazilian team. It seems they have the key to be able to dispatch Brazilian teams. The Champions League qualification has started. The Conference League 2 has started. A whole lot of football to talk about. The Euro tournament for the women going on at the moment. A whole lot of surprises popping up there. But in any case, like I always say, it's a good Tuesday to talk football. Thank you for having me, Jerry.
All right, and of course, I remember just some days ago, we talked about the under-20 Flying Eagles as they prepare for the WAFU Championship. And of course, we talked about a very interesting topic, though we did not flog it, but definitely looks like those who are watching and listening to Locker Rooms episodes on VOP TV are really listening to what we say. And of course, the latest development has it that the Nigerian Football Federation has dropped 6 players from the under-20 team due to age cheating concerns ahead of the WAFU tournament in Ghana. The team led by coach Aliyu Zubairu is preparing for the tournament, which will serve as a warm-up for the Under-20 World Cup in Chile. The NFF is taking a firm stance against age cheating, ensuring that the team meets FIFA's age requirements. The dropped players were part of a new batch of players caught up to the team after securing World Cup tickets via the AFCON. And the NFF source revealed that some players had irregularities in their documents, including multiple names on different documents, which led to their removal from the team. The NFF is determined to present a team that meets the age requirements, emphasizing that cheating to win is not their approach in developmental tournaments. And the Flying Eagles will participate in the WAFU Under-20 Boys Tournament, playing against Ghana and Benin Republic in Group A. Why the desperation? Anyway, the team has qualified for the World Cup. A lot of fake age people will surely want to be a part of the team, and it's good they identify them because it would have been wasted effort to take them to the WAFU tournament and you are prospecting them for the World Cup and you eventually find out that their age irregularities are there, because definitely I know they'll be asked to provide their birth certificates, their NIN registration, BVN will also be involved, the international passport will also be involved, and of course, your primary school certificate, if I'm the one checking the documentation. I think it's easy. It was easy before to fool a lot of people, but now I think with all of this documentation, there will be one that, of course, questions will be asked, unless maybe the planning for your cheating started from the womb. That's where you will escape. But it is what it is. And of course, it's good that those who are in charge are doing due diligence.
Jerry, the first question we'll ask ourselves is, these players, are they the same players that went for the Nations Cup?
No, they say they added some players. The players who came to join them,
6 of them,
were discovered that they falsified their ages and decided to let them go. Meaning that whoever they've added...
So which means these ones that we saw in the Nations Cup,
20, they are still good to go.
No, they are the real under 20.
They are still good to go. Yes, now if they did not find them wanting all this while, that means their documentation have been okay.
That means they are real under 20 now.
That's what the NFF said now.
Okay.
Is it what Jerry Apelai said?
No, I just want to be sure. Well,
and the NFF said they are good to go. They said the ones that came to join, wanted to join, were discovered that there were irregularities in their documentation.
You see, one thing about this whole story is, for me, right, is that these guys are actually very young or barely unknown. We don't know them. So if they tell you it is the ones that just joined that they replace, we are going to buy the story because we really don't know these guys.
And when they get to the WAFB tournament, if we look at the number of players in the WAFB tournament and we don't find those who were on the under 20 AFCON there, then we can plus one.
I think the coach said a lot of players should not be part of it.
Yeah, some players are going to be dropped.
Exactly, and
so what if some players were even dropped, not just to say that it was age?
Jerry, now you're going there. Say, Jerry,
whereas they are actually the age cut off. And if you are not there, we'll investigate. We'll find out why.
Jerry, first thing first. When they say they're going to drop a lot of players, you know that already those on the bench will go completely. Because if you are not good enough to be part of the first setup, you are never.
What if they make the mistake of dropping the players, thinking that they've seen 6 new players, not knowing that those ones, age is not on their side. But it will be a difficult situation. But let's give them the benefit of that.
Jerry, the first set of players on the bench for that tournament will go. Now we are talking about the first 11, because now the first 11 is the prime target. And the coach is saying a lot of them will not be part of the team, which means we are talking about first level.
He's not saying he's going to drop.
Not all, but I mean some of them will go.
Yeah, some of them. That should be the word.
Now it means that out of say 22 teams, right, we are looking at possibly only 7 or 8 will make the team going to the World Cup, because
that's a whole lot.
Jerry,
that's more than half of the team.
That's what it means, because if you say
some should be at least 6 or 7.
If you say
it should not be more than 11.
No, Jerry,
that would be a lot.
Jerry, if you say some, right, you are looking at the first 11.
No.
Yes, that's what you're saying.
Some, that means the bench is not good enough.
Jerry.
Because for you to be on the bench, show that you're not good enough for the team.
So which means
then bring in players by reshuffling players who are on the bench to compete with those who are starters. Then you can now shuffle and say, okay, this will be the starters. Those who did well at the tournament will now be on the bench. That means you are saying all the 11 players that were starters were not good enough.
That's what the coach is saying. That's what the coach was.
At least there were opportunities to use 5 players from the bench at the tournament.
Jerry,
if the 5 players on the bench were not good enough to at least compete at the tournament, Jerry, they should be the first to go.
At this stage of, I mean, following Nigerian football over the years, at this stage, you know that when the tournament is done, let's say under 17 AFCON to under 20, under 17 World Cup, you know that most times that team, if they don't end up winning the tournament, they disband that team first. That's exactly the statement of the coach technically. Now
this team went ahead to win bronze.
Jerry,
they didn't have to win the tournament.
It's bronze the conversation. We all know what we are talking about.
You were one of those who were singing their praises that this team has arrived.
For me, not the coach.
Chelle should start picking players for the Super Eagles, for the World.
No, wait, Jerry, wait now. I'm saying, Jerry, wait. I said, let me repeat what I said.
You know what? One of these days, I'm going to shock you. I will cut your comment.
No.
So that when we come for record purposes,
let me remind you what I said.
I will say, Kechku, pause. Let's listen to what you said the other day.
Jerry,
I'm going to do it to you.
Let me remind you what I said. No. I said that. Okay. I said, yes, these guys are actually good. You know, we were having a conversation whether Eric Chelle is supposed to be there to see the guys.
So these were the players that Chelle was rushing to the AFCON.
I said he's going to
go and see.
I said he's going to.
And at the end of the day, 7 of them, only 7 will go.
His presence is going to boost their morale. That's what I said.
And we start looking at the next
generation. Of course, couple of years now.
That these players should be. We remember we were even talking about these players should be a part of the Unity Cup. That they should even get more time. that there should be opportunities for them to at least make into the Super Eagles and even give these guys the Super Eagles to run for their money. You remember you said this on this platform.
This guy no na Jerry wait.
It's like you're singing a new song.
So when I say wait Jerry hold
when
on.
are you forming your political party? So that
Jerry,
I will start watching on the list.
Wait Jerry wait.
Hey,
when I said we are looking at these guys being part of Super Eagles. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying instantly now.
Okay.
I said okay. These guys at least a couple of years. If Chelle goes there, he sees
Are you still on that? Are you still on that protocol right now?
They might not have a very good tournament at this level, okay. But it doesn't mean that a few years down the line they will not.
Okay, the 7 that might go.
No, Jerry. See, it's difficult anywhere in the world to see 7 good players and in any age grade competition. You can't find. In fact, there's never been any record of that in any team, even the team that won the tournament.
Okay.
Even the Spanish team that won Nigeria, how many of them became superstars? Xavi and Hernandez and Gabi that later played for Atletico. You don't get these numbers all of the time. 7 is in fact it's unimaginable. But the thing is this, right? This Super Eagles team, these guys might not have a very good championship at this level. But it does not mean that a couple of years down the line they will not turn into.
I think I understand your position now. I think it's clearly stated, so I know where you stand. But Maiwa, we can see that it's looking very interesting as far as the under-20 team is concerned. Don't mind my politician, sports analyst who is here with me. But looking at this situation properly, it's going to make a whole lot of interesting with what we will eventually see at the under-20 WAFB tournament. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Well, the thing is this, it's so interesting that the NFF conveniently they are telling us that the 6 players that joined them are the ones that has issues with age. You and I know, and we can say it anywhere. Majority of those boys that featured for us as under 20, some of them claiming to be 15, some of them claiming to be 12, some of them claiming to be 13. We all know they are way more than under 20. And 2, how did people who are even above the age limit, how did they even sneak to the team before they discovered them? NFF needs to explain to us how they discovered them. Why didn't they discover them before they got to camp? It doesn't make any sense. And we've said it over and over again. We cannot continue to cheat our way through all this competition and think we are going to have sustainable national team. We've said it consistently. Apart from the fact that in some aspects, Ikechukwu is very right. Sometimes to get a very large number of good players that can move to the next stage for a particular age grade, it's a bit sometimes it doesn't happen. You might get 2, 3, at most 4 sometimes, but you can't get 6, 7 and just of that. Sometimes some of them might not be good enough to go to the next level. However, in our own case, we hardly even have one where majority of them have cheated their way through, and this again calls into question what is the selection criteria? What are the criteria for you to be able to ensure that we don't have cheats representing Nigeria? That's number 2. On the issue of these particular guys, being the next going to the WAFU or they have a shot at the national team, we all saw how terribly they performed in that particular competition. And we've said constantly that these are not the people that should be representing us, at the World Cup. Apart from the fact that majority of them, their age, the age they claim to be, has a whole lot of question mark on it. They were not even good enough to represent us as a country. So we have a whole lot of issues. As far as I'm concerned, and this is not to throw any shade or not to or to disregard the job the coaching crew has done for the under-20 and the rest of that. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think we have any viable under-20 team. There is a need for us to go back. Yes, you might say there are competitions coming up and the rest of that. Let's get it right. Get the appropriate people, the appropriate talent that's actually under 20 to feature in that particular tournament. Even if we don't win, even if we get knocked out in the first round, we know that we are trying to build something, not cheat our way through winning WAFU, and they will go and disgrace us at the World Cup, to be honest with you.
All right, Maiwa, it is what it is. Let's give the NFF the benefit of doubt, and they've come out to say that they've identified the players who cheated. It could be that, I'm telling you, these guys can be very smart. And I've seen situations even in the NYSC camp. Some people will boldly come with a lot of fake documents. It will now do during checks. They will now find out that this one didn't even go to university. Talk more of even graduating and even deserve to be in the NYSC camp. They'll have to send them back. Some of them travel all the way down with fake documentation. At least we saw there was a story that was posted some years ago. Was it last year? Yeah, where someone said he got admission in graduated in 6 months and even went to serve. You know how bad it is. And documentation in this part of the world is very porous. You could even meet a side tout within the court who arrange documentation for you, and you will go through any means. It's just that the government has been trying different tactics to make sure there's BVN, there's NIN, there's so many documentation. So it will be difficult for you to go through every one of them with one not being questionable. So it is what it is. Let's just give them the benefit of doubt. I'm not speaking for the NFF, but it is what it is. It's a really difficult situation because sometimes we have a lot of people, even at least there's even a rare situation where somebody will even be 17, 19, 20, and we don't even have a single beard on the face. Even 25, 30, we've seen situations like that.
It's not even about beard, yeah. It's not about
people,
beard.
you know, I've told you stories of how
I know
how they pick on their 17, on their 12 players.
It's not even about it boils down to you know the way we've actually created, you know, the do we even have a pipeline where these guys actually go through? We don't even have a funnel, you know.
It's not their fault.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have. So I mean, players can just come from any part of the world and then, you know, play for the national team. The thing is, if we had a system that produces players at under 12, you know, under 8, as small as under 8, under 12, under 15, before under 17, you know that, okay, over the years, these guys have gone through process. I mean, a couple of, I think it was 2 years ago, I was watching, you know, a Clasico. You know, under 12, a Clasico, Barcelona and Real Madrid. You see these guys, very young guys. And that's why it's easy. If they become superstars, like Lamine Yamal, they can go back to his old footage at that age, and they will show you that, okay, this guy has always been part of the system. We don't have that luxury here. We don't even have, you know, a process to actually bring these guys, you know, together to even set up a system that, okay, in the next couple of years, we are looking at seeing them here. This is exactly where the problem. I will continue to have this problem of, you know, age cheats and people who, you know, are just come from nowhere to be part of.
There's an under 15 national team in the UK.
Jerry, Nigerian under 15 national team in the UK.
Yes, they have one that they go and play tournaments, but they are mostly children born abroad, privileged, not
so what?
home based.
Come on, how does that even make sense?
Yeah,
why can't you have a system that is taking care? Okay, why can't they even bring that under 15? That's you know, acclaimed as under 15 pool to play, to be part of our under 17 team.
No, they are still preparing them. You know, there are Djibouters who cannot play African football. It will be difficult for them.
Okay, they are the one that will play the World Cup.
Yes, they are preparing them for World Cup.
So if they meet the Mali national team or
like the likes of
Cameroon national team,
no, they can. If they meet those ones, the African strong legs will be the one playing defense and all those. Why the butter bread will play in the attack, where they will just get opportunity to score goals.
Yeah,
that's the interesting situation we'll find ourselves. No, but it is what it is.
It is sad.
Yeah, it might be sad, but it is the situation we'll find ourselves. But let's talk about Nigerian's head coach Chelle has identified 5 players who impressed him at the recent Unity Cup tournament in England. The players are likely to be part of the Super Eagles squad for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. And Chelle praised the players' performances, noting that the tournament provided an opportunity to assess their skills. Chelle highlighted the impressive performances of players like Sir Dessers, Frank Oyeka, who played well in both games. He also mentioned new players like Benjamin Frederick, Chris Santos Uche, and Felix Agu, who caught his attention during the tournament. Maiwa, you can agree that these players did excellently well in the friendlies, and at least we can say that we saw something different from what we've been seeing since Eric Chelle came on board, and we say we should take advantage of those players we discover in the friendlies ahead of the World Cup qualifiers.
Well, definitely. I mean, there is a need for us to do that. You know, we've said it consistently that we have deficiencies that we need to sort out, especially in the attack. Remember, if an Osimhen is not playing, where does the goal come from? The likes of Aroko Dare and Siri Desel, they've given us an option in front of goal. Nobody's wishing that Osimhen gets injured or whatever it is. What if they mark Osimhen out? Those are options, that can come in. Yes, Aroko Dare was part of the, last World Cup qualifier, but I mean, Siri Desel, an inclusion of Siri Desel is an added advantage for the team, and that is the essence of friendly matches, is for you to be able to discover new talent and be able to integrate them into the national team. And I think Chelle is doing that. But the question is this: when the time comes, will Chelle be bold enough to test those players, to use those players, and not rely on those that have done it before, that has played before? That is the big question. If Chelle can make the bold move based on the performance of those guys, I think we have other options. We have, additional options, to prosecute the many qualifiers for Nigeria.
All right. So of course, with the World Cup qualifiers approaching, Chelle is preparing the Chan-bound Nigerian B team, and the coach believes the identified players will be important in the upcoming qualifiers, and they will go into the next season knowing they are in contention for a spot in the Super Eagles. Do you see the Chan Eagles also doing well next month and convincing Chelle to be a part of the World Cup qualifiers as well?
Well, at this point, it's quite difficult to say, right? But of course, I'm actually looking at maybe 2 or 3 from the Chan Eagles to be part of the team. It's really going to disrupt the team's chemistry. That's a fact. If you bring in too many players into the camp, it's really going to disrupt the team's chemistry. At this point, the players really need to gel, and these guys that she's actually bringing in, these six players are actually, some of them, like of Frank Onyeka, were the ones who were asking why didn't they make the cut for the double header. Thank God he's finally part of the team. Siri Desel has always proven that whenever he's called upon, he's a reliable backup. So yes, I think these numbers are quite good. Cristiano Zuche, we've always been crying that we do not have that man who is energetic in the middle of the park who can actually drive ball forward. So yes, he's part of the team. I mean, Frederick and Benjamin Frederick and Agua gave a good account of themselves in the defense. So looking at that team and looking at what we have currently in Super Eagles, I think these guys are players who really fit into those particular parts that we're really struggling with. And of course, with the idea of bringing the likes of Samuel Chukwueze to the middle of the park is also quite interesting to help the team. So bringing in some of the players from China, except say maybe the coach is actually looking at adding perhaps a midfielder and a player in the defense. But I think we really do not need too much at this point because the team needs to be focused. We really need the team to be compact before playing that particular game against Zimbabwe, Rwanda and South Africa. Because this is exactly where we definitely these games are the make or mar game for the Super Eagles. If we're going to qualify, it's really going to be hinging on those particularly that South African game. I still strongly believe that South African game might be a lot easier compared to the Rwanda game because the Super Eagles have this very nasty attitude of actually approaching games they think they can actually win with extreme laxity. But I want to believe that yes, with this crop of players already, I think we are good to go. Then perhaps after that particular game, then we can now bring in more players from the Chan Eagles. I really want to see some of the players in the Chan Eagles be part of this setup. But then, of course, at this point, I think the coach should just concentrate more on these 6 players and then make the team work properly as a team.
All right, Maiwa, it is what it is. And even the South Africa's head coach, talking about Hugo Broos, is focused on beating the Super Eagles in their upcoming match, despite the possibility of FIFA deducting 3 points from South Africa's World Cup qualifiers tally. And the point deduction is due to the team fielding an ineligible player in the previous match. And Broos seems unfazed by the potential deduction, and his priority is winning against Nigeria. The match is expected to be a closely contested one, with both teams vying for points in the qualifiers. And the situation highlights the intensity of the World Cup qualifiers, where teams are fighting for every point to secure a spot in the tournament. And of course, the Super Eagles has not made it easy for themselves. The South Africans also made it more difficult by feeding an ineligible player. So that game is going to be fierce. It's going to be more or less a do or die affair for both teams. So it's going to be like a Nations Cup semi-final clash like we saw in Cote d'Ivoire some years ago, talking about the last AFCON. So, and now that Eric Chelle is saying he's discovering players, I hope that we will not have any injury problems and we'll have enough to fortify us from the bench in that one, because Bruce knows what is at stake. Eric Chelle definitely should understand what is at stake, as well as the players from both the Bafana and the Super Eagles.
Well, the thing is it has happened to us before. We're fined 3 points and we ended up qualifying for that particular tournament, without any stress. I think we didn't make it easy for ourselves. The game against Zimbabwe was a game we were supposed to win, and we didn't win it. What happened in that particular game? Eric Chelle decided to field an unfit to second. And what was the reason for that? Because we don't have, quality player. He doesn't feel we have a replacement for those players. And that was the reason why he decided to field, a second that was injured, that was not fully fit in that particular game. In this next round, we didn't make it easy for ourselves. We are playing against South Africa, that the momentum is on their side. They have a lot to lose. The momentum is on their side. They have everything going good for them. I think is an opportunity. Those players that he discovered is an opportunity for them to be able to show what they can do in terms of helping Nigeria to qualify. However, the big question is this: I don't think we have done enough to justify a ticket for the World Cup. If you look at Putin and what South Africa has put in so far, I think South Africa has everything going on for them. Whereas we are trying to rally around and see how we can move ahead in the qualification. Even if we beat South Africa, we still have other teams to contend with. We have about 3 other teams ahead of us. So the ticket's not even in our hands. So, but in any case, what we are hoping for is this. I hope the new players start to infuse into the team. They will not have the jitters of the big stage. Remember, there's a particular guy, I can't remember his name now, that was invited for the 2 qualifiers and didn't do so well. The defender from England, I can't even remember his name now, that was a bit jitty in those games. And, we saw that we couldn't continue with him. I hope the new players, will not cave under a lot of pressure playing for the national team in those important games. Well, it's going to be an interesting game. And I hope, Hector gets it right such that we have to beat South Africa.
All right, I hope they get it right. And of course, it's going to be a very big one. And let's go over to Julius Agawa, a former Nigerian international, believes Wilfred Ndidi can solve Manchester United's midfield problems. Ndidi has been linked to a move to Old Trafford after his impressive performances with Leicester City despite their relegation. And Agawa praises Ndidi's power, pressing ability, and long diagonal runs, which he believes would make him a valuable asset to Manchester United. Is it now that you need Wilfred Ndidi?
A couple of years ago, I think about 2-3 seasons ago, Ndidi was one of the best, defensive midfielders in England, but not at that level anymore. So for a team that's actually going through a rebuild, considering his age and of course he's a little slower now, I don't think he's going to be the right prospect for Manchester United. I understand that yes, he's got the experience, he understands what the league, to play in the league is all about, but then. For a long-term project, I don't think it's the right fit. But yes, if it's just to put United back on good shape and then start looking for someone who's going to replace him for a long run, then United can start having a conversation about Ndidi. But I don't know why Agawa actually thought of Ndidi at this point. Ndidi is a player who is really, I think in the last say about 12 months, he's really not been the same player we used to. There was a time I was expecting him to actually make a big move to a top club in Europe, but then he actually didn't make that particular move at that point in time. So yes, if it's about the quality, I think he still have what it takes to play at the highest level. But then it has to do with the kind of players that he's going to be playing around in the middle of the park. So it depends on the kind of players United willing to actually bring to actually support him in the middle of the park. If there's no top player or no marquee signing that will join him, I don't think he alone has the ability to actually do it alone at this point, because it's really slow compared to what we used to see a couple of years ago. So, but It's still quite early. United had, there's a certain Bruno Fernandes who's very much experienced, definitely going to help him settle in the middle of the park. And then, if United can actually also get, players that are very good runners, then of course Wilfred can really be a very good, short-term measure for Manchester United.
All right, Maiwa, Wilfred Ndidi, it's your option. What do you think?
Well, if we are going through a rebuild, I don't think it's the best option for us. What was his performance with Leicester City last season? How many times did he get to feature regularly for Leicester City last season? A lot of people might say, he had injury concerns and the rest of that. However, a team that is rebuilding and you want to attract players that will be able to do things for you, I don't think, bringing in a Wilfred Ndidi is the answer. I don't want a situation whereby we'll go and sign an Ericsson Pro Max. Remember when Ericsson came in, we thought, Ericsson would be the answer. However, Ericsson could not do it. We saw how that went. I don't think he's the right player for us. I don't want a situation whereby we do a one-season wonder and, we'll be struggling again. It's better we invest in a long-term project, in a player that is quality, that can actually take Manchester United from where they are at the moment to the level they are going. And Ndidi will not do it. I don't think Ndidi will be a fit for Manchester United based on the fact that we are trying to rebuild. Ndidi will not be the solution for us.
All right, you have to be worried because Everton and Al Ahly are also interested in Wilfred Ndidi. And Agawa thinks that Ndidi's move to Manchester United will be an excellent one, allow him to take a step up in his career and play for a big club. I think it's more good for Ndidi if he joins Manchester United, and of course, also good for Manchester United to have his experience in the middle of the park. He has been a prominent player in the Premier League at some time, and of course, he'll be a good, a good inspiration to other midfielders in who are younger in the team. Anyway, let's talk about the Club World Cup. Chelsea's young side are targeting a place in the final of the Club World Cup when they take on Fluminense in the last four tonight, with the Brazilian team marshaled by former Blues defender Thiago Silva, who is still going strong at the age of 40. Wow. Silva was already a veteran when he signed for Chelsea in 2020 before going on to have an impressive 4-year stint at Stamford Bridge. And one of the finest centre-backs of his generation, Silva arrived after 8 years at Paris Saint-Germain, and in his first season at Chelsea won the UEFA Champions League. He played 155 games for the London club and left 12 months ago after helping oversee the development of some of the young talents now featuring regularly under Enzo Maresca. At 40, he's in the semi-final and is leading a Fluminense side against his former side. Quite a phenomenal player.
Absolutely, this is one of the privileges defenders enjoy. You rarely see an attacker playing, at the highest level at 40. It's quite difficult. Goalkeepers and defenders enjoy this privilege a lot, and nobody can take it away from him. He's one of the really one of the best in his generation. He's a very calm centre back. He reads the lines very well, and he's very strong with his tackle. I remember why he was at AC Milan at that point when he and Zlatan left AC Milan. A lot of persons looked at that Milan team and said, no, this team is no longer the team we used to see. And after they left, there was this huge decline of that AC Milan team. AC Milan has never been the same, even till date. Forget the fact that they actually won the league, at some point, when Zlatan returned, but they've not really recovered because this guy is a very big signing. Of course, he went to Paris Saint-Germain. He lost the Champions League final. He went to Chelsea, and of course, he picked it up back. And he's a player who has actually done a lot for himself. And getting the Club World Cup, is going to be another addition to his feather at 40, leading the side, leading a Brazilian side against an a three European powerhouse in the UEFA in the Club World Cup semi-final. It's going to be a very big story. And this is the second. I think this is the third Brazilian side that Chelsea will be playing in this tournament. They played against Flamengo. Flamengo actually, outclassed them. They played against Palmeiras, where they actually, got the better of them. And now they're actually playing against Fluminense. It's going to be quite interesting. They've won one, lost one, and let's see how they're going to actually do against this particular Fluminense side. But I mean, it's going to be quite an interesting game. I just hope, for some reasons, right, I have a very soft spot for this guy, and it's going to be very beautiful to see him lift this trophy. But then, of course, it's Chelsea. Chelsea know how to actually get this sort of trophy. There's something about Chelsea at this stage. I just, want to believe that they might just go all the way to just pick this trophy.
All right, Maiwa, do you agree with Ikechukwu says that Chelsea is going to win this one?
Well, I mean, they have win one, lose one. Well, this is the third one. We don't know. However, the thing is I think Fluminense has been very, 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 very tactical in the way they approach game, and they've also been very, very clinical. Thiago Silva has been a rock for them. At 40, the way he plays, you would think he's not 40. He knows how to time his run, how to time his run. He's not the fastest, but he's the wisest on the field of play, and that has been able to help Fluminense coordinate their defense. Most of the time, even some of the attacks starts from the defense, and it shows how influential he has been. And because you could make one valid point, majority of the players, some of the players that feature for Chelsea right now, went under the tutelage of Thiago Silva, and we can see them doing very well for Chelsea. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. The last game against, I think it's Flamengo that they played against, or I think it's Palmeiras that Chelsea defeated. Palmeiras, Chelsea was lucky in that particular game. It's as if they were very, very exceptional in that particular game. They were lucky that Palmeiras did not take their chance, and that was the reason why Chelsea was able to escape that. Would they be able to escape Fluminense? It's going to be very, very, very interesting. For me, I think if we look at it on the quality of play and how they have played so far, I think I want to tip Fluminense to win. And the experience and everything that Thiago Silva brings, and the experience of the team itself, I think will go a long way against the Chelsea side. So I'm probably tipping, a Thiago Silva-led team to probably get one over Chelsea.
All right, let's see how that pans out. And of course, Real Madrid star Kylian Mbappe has reportedly dropped the legal harassment case he had brought against former club PSG. Mbappe, 26, joined Real on a free transfer from the Parisians last summer after he decided to run down his contract. And during his final season in Paris, Mbappe's relationship with the club soured, and he was even booed by fans during his last home game. And this led to other issues, including a wage dispute, and the 25-year-old is currently seeking around £46 million in unpaid salary and bonuses he says he is owed by the club. And the League One champions, however, say Mbappe's contract was legally amended and that he reneged on commitment when he left the club to join Real Madrid on a free. And the matter has been ongoing since, but earlier this year, Mbappe also filed a legal case against PSG for alleged moral harassment over the way he was treated when he revealed he would not be signing a new deal in the summer of 2023. Meanwhile, news of Mbappe's decision comes in the week that he's set for a reunion with his former club for the first time. Real take on PSG in the club World Cup semi-final in New Jersey on a Wednesday evening. Is it the fear of the fans? He doesn't want to be booed, or maybe they've had a gentleman agreement ahead of this semi-final clash?
Well, sometimes you just look at certain things and you reflect on the decision you've taken, and then you see that this is a relationship that was once good. It was once treated as like the president of PSG. I mean, he was given everything. Something happened and then the relationship went sour. I think it's reasonable. His advisor and people who perhaps have spoken to him that just let this thing go. I mean, you don't need all of these things. You're now settled in Real Madrid. 43 to 47 million pounds. No, a lot of money. Well, the truth is that if there's a lot of case, if the claim is actually quite real in its real sense, then I don't think he'll be letting it go. I think it's a case of perhaps someone is actually trying to someone is misinterpreting the clause around his contract. Perhaps he really isn't very well informed as regards that. But I mean, it's good that he's allowing it go, because all the while he was right there in France. I mean, there was no point in time where he was owed, right? So if there's any breach in agreement or any conversation around that, well, perhaps actually thrown his ring in the court, and then and then think about it again, and it's really not necessary. But it's a good one that because one thing I don't like is for players who have really enjoyed certain privileges with their club side and then move and then they start having bad bloods and all of that. It's actually not good. Now they're going to the Club World Cup game. Mbappe will be there to actually prove a point that yes, you won the UEFA Champions League, but I'm still the man who is. I'm still the king of Paris, and these guys will be coming all the way, against Real Madrid and say, you know what, without you we did it, and without you we've always been better. So it's going to be a very fierce battle, and I just hope at the end of the day, that football will win because it's going to be very, very terrible that midway into the game we started seeing players trading tackles, heated arguments, and then because of the energy already around there. I just hope they're able to actually manage it. And for Kylian Mbappe, I just hope that Real Madrid and Alonso will be able to talk to him and let him just see this as just another game. You don't have anything to prove because that's where it all starts. Because if you start thinking that you have something to prove, then you become agitated, and of course you can at some point, maybe just a minor tackle, you just throw caution to the wind, and of course, like they say, everywhere goes scatter.
All right, and of course I've seen situations when some people get a close shave in terms of with life and death. Maybe, I don't know. Let's not forget he was hospitalized some days ago,
yeah.
And maybe he would have had a situation where he feels he needs to let go, and he might have also been in a situation where the club would have reached out to him. Okay, let's settle out of court.
Yeah.
We'll pay you half of this money. Just let this matter go, and he decided, okay, it's still enough, 20 million to go and have fun around. Okay, and Maiwa, a lot to prove, but he might want to take it easy because he just got discharged from hospital. He's returning back to the pitch, and of course, I may see a situation where he might not even start this game.
Well, the only bitter person here in this bitter divorce is Kylian Mbappe. He left. The season he left, that was when they won the Champions League. Maybe it was one that has been tying their Champions League glory down. That's why they didn't win it. So I mean, I don't think PSG has anything to prove. If not for anything, it even shows that they were even much more better when he left, and that's the truth. They went through the Champions League and they won it. For Mbappe, I think for PSG, I don't think that there will be any tension. But for the fans, they will continue to boo him. They will still consider him as a traitor. This was somebody that they cheated like a kid in the candy store. Remember, Christopher Galtier was fired because of Mbappe. Mbappe never wanted Galtier, and that was the end of Galtier in PSG. So I mean, because he wanted to leave, he decided to burn the bridge, and that's just it. And for him dropping the harassment case and the 47 million this day, I think maybe he has spoken to his lawyers and this one, and they've interpreted the contract to him. I don't think players will want to let go of any cent. The way he acted while he was leaving PSG, I don't think you want to let go of 47 million pounds or whatever it is. I think probably maybe they must have told him that you don't have a fair shot. You don't have a fair shot at winning this case in court, and that's the reason why he has decided to drop it. However, like Kechuku said, Kama should prevail. We don't want a repeat of the Inter Milan and the River Plate game where Dumfries and Acuna were almost killing each other on the field of play. That players had to pull both of them apart and the rest of that. I think they should let football win. Whatever it is whatever the situation was between Mbappe and the management of PSG, not the players. And these were once his friends. I think they should let Kamaed prevail and just get on with the game and let's have a beautiful game.
All right, so of course, let's talk about Darwin Núñez now, where it looks like Liverpool have named their asking price for the striker in a move that could result in a major financial loss to the Reds, according to reports. And Núñez joined Liverpool in an £85 million then club record transfer 3 years ago, but he appears ready to leave the Premier League champions after taking on a beat patrol under Arne Slot. And of course, the 25-year-old bagged 5 goals and 3 assists in the Premier League last season as Liverpool romped to victory, but only started on 8 occasions. 8 occasions starting and 5 goals and 3 assists, okay? And it's just 25. We hear that Napoli are insistent on getting him for £47 million, and of course, it's a loss, but at least Darwin Núñez have paid his. We've seen enough. It's time for him to leave. And of course, maybe. Yeah. But unfortunately,
Jerry, why are you preaching now?
calm down. You know,
Jerry, you
we'll see
say
enough.
no. You Liverpool have seen enough.
Yes, we'll see enough. Thanks for coming. You know? Yeah, we'll see enough. You can at least, even if they are bringing 10 million, I don't even mind. He should just go so that we know that we don't have a striker. It's not like you know there's somebody there and you know there's no hope. But he's a decent player. But
he has
decided not to be fortunate. But unfortunately,
he says he's a decent player. You want him to go.
He's a decent player that's unfortunate. Yeah, we don't need unfortunate. We've had enough unfortunate times, and we are lucky that. Yeah.
Jerry, I thought it's the sugar in your tea now. I thought it's the sugar in Liverpool's tea. The butter in your bread.
I thought it was in England to actually battle Haaland.
The same way we thought Haaland was the like for Haaland because of
it was Darwin Núñez.
Yes, because of the name Haaland, we thought it was going to be like Haaland.
Initially it was Darwin Núñez. They came the same season.
It's just.
Have you forgotten they came the same season?
Yeah, they came the same season.
Darwin Núñez and
Haaland was on far on fire. And down in the He was coming from PSG, from Portuguese league.
And you spent 85 million pounds.
In add-ons, it was 64 million.
What's the difference?
The difference is that the add-ons will not be paid because he never met any of them. That's the difference. Anyway.
But the question is this: I think we need to look critically at the Portuguese league. Most of their strikers that step out, they always become fraud, especially when they come to the EPL.
You are saying something to Arsenal.
And the likes of
I
them.
hope Arsenal is listening, is watching you. I hope the Arsenal fan behind the scene, I said I would start calling Gaio Chorus. I said it's not only Gaio Chorus, it's Gao Makosa Dance. Anyway, time really fast, so we just have to go. Thanks by for being also on the show, and of course, Ikechukwu. It's been awesome as well. Okay, it was Wilfred Ndidi. Okay, it was Wilfred Ndidi wanted to announce that he's coming. I wish you all the best. I know applause. Oh, congratulations. Wilfred Ndidi. Anyway.
How the mighty has fallen. Celebrating Wilfred Ndidi. Coming to Manchester United.
You are listening to this.
Guys,